6 eminent Commonwealth statesmen and women to be at the conference. And when the deliberations of the conference were threatened because of the massacre by apartheid police of 4 ANC stalwarts in a place called Boipatong, the conference was threatened. I flew to South Africa and I had meetings with the President, F.W. de Klerk, with the leader of the ANC, Mandela, with the leader of the PAC, Clarence Makwetu, and with the leader of the Afrikaner Party, General Constant Viljoen. For a while I could not find Gacha Buthelezi, who was the leader of the IFP. And if I may tell you an amusing story here, when I sent my staff to Ulundi, the capital of KwaZulu-Natal, where Gacha Buthelezi normally lived, and they could not find him, I went to State President F.W. de Klerk, and I said to him, I'm sure that your secret service would know the movement of Gacha Buthelezi. Could you tell me where he is? And President F.W. de Klerk said to me, Mr. Secretary General, Buthelezi is in the Holiday Inn in Pretoria under the name of Mr. Rogers. So I dialed Holiday Inn myself. I didn't ask my secretary or my staff to call the Holiday Inn. I called the Holiday Inn and the switchboard said, answered, and I said, could you put me through to Mr. Rogers? And they put me through. And of course, I recognized immediately Gacha Buthelezi's voice. But I did say, is that Mr. Rogers? He said, yes. Who is it? And I said, Gacha is your brother chief here. And he shouted. I said, how did you know where I am? And I said, in my position, you shouldn't be surprised that I'll be able to find out where you are. And I had a meeting with him because I prepared a one-page Omen parties to sign an accord to prevent or at least minimize violence in South Africa. And I sent some senior representatives of the Commonwealth to go to South Africa, and their presence helped to douse the violence.
He had asked me to deliver his speech on his behalf. The wordings are his. He's just borrowing my voice. I will abridge it because of the time that has been allocated for this. It is with immense pride and honor that I join eminent Nigerians, present and former colleagues, and all guests who have assembled here today to celebrate one of our own, the former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, His Excellency, Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, Omenka Haranya of Mbize, Imo State of Nigeria. For 12 years, the Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha served the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a lawmaker from the hallowed chambers of the House of Representatives. He served first as the member, then as a chief whip, and later as Deputy Speaker of the House. This is not forgetting that he also served briefly as a speaker during his period when his principal went to be the governor of his state. Looking at his political trajectory, there is no doubt that Right Honorable Ihedioha is a well-rounded lawmaker, an astute politician, a great voice for the oppressed, and one who seeks to do good for the people. Good health, even at 60. This colloquium in his honor is indeed meritorious and deserving. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Ihedioha's time in the House of Representatives were eventful years that added value to lawmaking and the development of our country. He was chairman of the House Committee on Marine Transport, in which role he was actively instrumental to passing key legislations that have positively impacted the Nigerian maritime sector. These included the International Convention for the Safety at Sea Ratification and Enforcement Act of 2004 and the International Convention.
Thank you for joining us again on Biscon Television News. I'm Stella Opara. First, the headlines. On the national scene, the Nigerian Army dismantles illegal refineries in Niger Delta. Rivers Chief of Staff claims bribe offer for impeachment plot. In business news, NATI reports 9.3 trillion naira owed to the Nigerian government. On the foreign scene, Red Cross condemns attack on medics in Gaza. And in the weather sports, Napoli beat AC Milan to keep pressure on Inter. Now the news in full. The 6th Division of the Nigerian Army recently announced the successful dismantling of 18 illegal refineries and the arrest of 39 suspected oil thieves in the Niger Delta. Over the course of 6 days, from March 24 to March 30, 2025, the operation resulted in the seizure of over 60,000 liters of stolen crude oil. The operation, which covered Rivers, Bayelsa, Delta, and Akwa Ibom states, also led to the confiscation of equipment used in illegal refining, including drum ovens, metal parts, and hoses. The Army emphasized its commitment to combating oil theft and ensuring a secure environment for legitimate oil exploration activities. Major General Emmanuel Emeka, General Officer commanding the 6th Division, urged troops to continue their crackdown on oil thieves. The operation also highlighted significant actions such as the interception of an 18,000-liter illegal oil tank in Rivers State and the destruction of refining sites in various locations, including Omoko and Rumwepe. The Army's efforts are part of a larger initiative to address oil theft, a problem that has long plagued the region and hindered the country's oil industry. In another story, Edison Ehie, the Chief of Staff to the suspended Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, has publicly accused unnamed figures of offering him a 5 billion naira bribe to orchestrate the impeachment of his principal. Speaking on a television program, Ehie stated that he had evidence stored on his phone of the bribe offer, which he claimed was made in October 2023. He also denied any involvement in the alleged bombing of the Rivers State Assembly on October 30, 2023, a claim made by former head of service George Mwaike. Ehie emphasized that he was not part of the attack and has instructed his lawyers to file a lawsuit for criminal libel against Mwaike. This allegation is part of the ongoing political turmoil in Rivers State, which escalated following the fallout between Governor Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. On March 18, 2025, President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency in the state, suspending Fubara and his deputy. The move has sparked significant political debate, with critics calling it an undemocratic action that undermines the principles of democracy in Nigeria. Now, Dele Momodu, a prominent member of the opposition People's Democratic Party, has criticized President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, calling it an anti-democratic move. Speaking on the television program, Momodu expressed his disappointment in Tinubu, citing the president's past pro-democracy activism. He argued that while economic failures can be forgiven, undermining democracy would have lasting consequences for the country. Momodu urged Tinubu to reconsider his actions, warning that intimidating opposition would not help his administration succeed. This criticism follows Tinubu's declaration on March 18, 2025, which led to the suspension of Governor Fubara, his deputy, and the Rivers State House of Assembly. The move has been met with backlash from various political figures, including Mamadou, who believes it undermines the democratic process. Mamadou's comments reflect growing concerns about the state of governance in Rivers, which remains a focal point of tension between different political factions. You're watching Biscon TV News. Business News comes up next. Welcome back. Now to business news. The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NATI, has revealed that revenue-generating agencies currently owe the federal government a staggering 9.3 trillion naira in unremitted liabilities. This amount, disclosed in NATI's 2023 industry report, represents approximately 72% of the federal government's projected budget deficit for 2025. The Executive Secretary of NATI, Orji Ogbonnaya Orji, emphasized the importance of these funds in addressing the government's financial needs, noting that the owed amount exceeds the combined budget for national security, health, and social welfare. NATI's report also highlighted a decline in liabilities from previous years, though the amount remains concerning for the government's ability to meet its financial obligations. In total, the liabilities of $6.175 billion and 66.378 billion naira are still seen as a significant issue, particularly as the government strives to close a projected 13 trillion naira budget deficit. NATI has urged relevant agencies to ensure full compliance with revenue remittance to support infrastructure and development projects in the country. We'll take another short break, and when we return, we'll bring you foreign news. Welcome back. Now to foreign news. The International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, IFRC, has condemned the killing of 8 Palestinian medics, 6 civil defense first responders, and a UN staff member by Israeli forces in Gaza. The incident, which occurred on March 23, 2025, involved an Israeli military strike on a convoy of ambulances and a fire truck in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The IFRC expressed outrage, stating that these medics were performing humanitarian duties and were marked with the Red Crescent emblem, which should have protected them under international law. Israeli forces claimed the vehicles were advancing suspiciously without headlights or emergency signals, and that they had killed several Hamas operatives. However, the Red Crescent and UN officials called this attack a clear violation of international humanitarian law. The bodies of the medics and responders were recovered after days of being inaccessible, with the IFRS urging for accountability and adherence to the rules of war, which mandate the protection of civilians and humanitarian workers in conflict zones. We'll take another short break. When we come back, we'll bring you sports news.
Hello and welcome to Sports Segment on Biscon TV News. Napoli beat AC Milan to remain within 3 points of Serie A leaders Inter Milan. Antonio Conte's side scored twice in the opening 19 minutes to look comfortable, but ended up hanging on. Matteo Politano scored with a sweet strike from towards the edge of the box, and Bellingham picked out Romelu Lukaku to scoff in their second. 9th place Milan pulled one back when Luka Jokic scored from close range. after Santiago Jimenez earlier had the penalty saved by Alex Meret. He had several chances to equalize, with Jovic flashing a shot wide in injury time. The visitors were without English midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who underwent surgery to have his appendix removed earlier in the day. Defending champions Inter remained 3 points clear after a 2-1 win over Udinese. Marko Arnautovic and David Fratesi scored their goals, with Omar Solet pulling one back for Udinese. While third place Atlanta lost 1-0 at home to Fiorentina, with Moise Kean scoring the only goal, but boss Gianpiero Gasperini said his side were already out of the title race before that. They sit third, 9 points behind leaders Inter. Finally, Czech teenager Jakub Mensik beat childhood idol Novak Djokovic to win the Miami Open, having come close to withdrawing with a knee injury hours before the first round match. 19-year-old Mensik went to the referee's room to announce his withdrawal before his opener against Roberto Batistuta on the 20th of March, but the official was out for lunch. He then went to the physiotherapist to ask them to fill in paperwork confirming his withdrawal, but was persuaded to stay on. Mensik dropped just 2 sets on his run to the final, which included victories over British number 1 Jack Draper and 4th seed Taylor Fritz. He clinched a first ATP Tour title with a 7-6, 7-6 win over Serbia's Djokovic on a sticky, humid night in Florida. Djokovic, a 24-time Grand Slam champion, had been bidden to become just the 3rd man in the Open era to win 100 singles titles. However, the 37-year-old's wait will go on after his loss to Mensik, who was just 10 months old when Djokovic won his first title in 2006. Mensik is the 9th youngest Masters 1000 champion and the 2nd youngest in Miami after Carlos Alcaraz. That's all in sports.
Welcome back to Biscon TV News. Now to entertainment news. South Korean actor Kim Soo-hyun has cheerfully denied accusations from the family of late actress Kim Se-won, who died in February 2025. At a press conference on March 31st, Kim Soo-hyun refuted claims that he dated Kim Se-won when she was a minor and that his agency pressured her over a debt which allegedly contributed to her suicide. He stated that their relationship only began when she was an adult in 2019, and that he was unaware of any debt-related issues. Kim Soo-hyun also released a voice recording that he claims shows the debt collection was handled professionally. The allegations against Kim Soo-hyun have caused a stir in South Korea's entertainment industry, with many brands severing ties with the actor, including fashion brand Prada and cosmetics company Dinto. In response, Kim Soo-hyun has sparked lawsuits against Kim Se-won's family and a controversial YouTube channel for defamation, seeking 12 billion won in damages. Despite the ongoing legal battles, Kim Soo-hyun remained emotional, expressing regret for the situation and urging the public to trust the evidence he has provided. And that's the news for now on Biscon Television, compiled and produced by Faber Ajabe. Now the last line. Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." I'm Stella Opara. Thank you for watching.
I greet you. Welcome to another program in the series, Newspaper Headliners. So the papers are here. We'll make to share the headline stories with you, just so you give context to it. So I am Jones Hussein, but let's meet and greet my co-anchor, Barrister Fred Nzako. Mr. Nzako, I greet you, sir.
I greet you, Jones.
Yeah. So the first paper.
Baraka de Salah.
Thank you. Thank
to
you.
And to all our Muslim compatriots.
Yeah, and viewers too. And as we say, as you pray for, you pray and thirst for righteousness. May every of your wish for self and country come true.
Come true.
Okay, the first paper here is this day. It leads